No, Shrek, it's really not that easy. You don't have to say it again.
It's not that easy.
No, I don't want you to say it again, man, please.
Talk about AI for over an
This guy's such a
hour.
narcissist, man. Be quiet. Such an egocentric person. I saw your movies, I like them. Yeah, so, how's everybody doing? Not good. Doesn't sound good. Guys, we're getting a call.
Hey, it's your boy Drizzy Drake.
What?
Y'all already know what time it is, man. Alecjerome, reading workshop. How you feeling, girl? Having though.
A girl having
It's gonna be crazy.
Yes, it is, Drake.
Now, let me be clear.
Is that Obama?
Alecjerome, Reading People Workshop at Locust,
Yeah,
featuring Girl Heaven,
right.
is one of the greatest things you've ever seen, baby. All right.
Oh my
Look at me, they told me Gil Abbott was gonna be
This
in
guy?
August, so what did I do? I came to August to see Alecjerome. I want to see the Alecjerome reading workshop, and I also really want to see Gil Heaven very greatly.
I don't care if you want to see Girl Heaven, dude. Just like do what you said you were gonna do, like make things great again. We're trying to make art great again, guys. So AI kind of got us screwed a little bit, but let's keep seeing what we can do. So if you guys could, if you have an iPhone right now would be a good time to download the app Polycam, because hopefully by the end of the night we can all get a 3D scan, make some metahumans. Polycam? You got it already? You got it. I know you've been scanning, dude. All right. So for the first tool of the night, we're using Krea.ai. 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 So this is a cool tool because you can upload your own images. You can basically just kind of do whatever you want, really. You can give it a reference, which I know you guys all have a reference because you all drew something earlier. So now would be a good time to try to import that image into Krea if you haven't already. Hey guys, come on in. We still got some room. We're just about to slowly get in there. And so this was my creature, I gave him a solid 7. Listen, I'm not taking any more calls, dude, please. This is my character. I drew him in like 22 seconds. He seems to have some kind of reptilian kind of vibes, maybe a little bit of a religious vibe too. I think that's a halo. He's morally curious, bimoral. And we threw him into Krea, and we got some weird results. We got some results that I just feel kind of weird about. Whoa. Let's put creature from the 1980s. Oh, very 80s. Very Gremlins vibes. Let's do everybody's favorite. Frutige arrow. Wow, that doesn't look anything like Frutige. So sometimes these tools are a little unreliable. So we don't want to use the real-time stuff. We might just not even want to use the drawing at all. We might just want to go straight into flux. Because who gives a flux? We're using AI. We already committed to the bit. We're going to do it. I know. So pick your aspect ratio. If you're trying to make content for social media, I would suggest you do it 9:16. So you want to pick that. And then here's where it gets this is how you can kind of make yourself feel a little bit better about using this tool. So you're not trying to steal a style. You don't want to say Miyazaki style or Disney style because, they wouldn't respect that. Could you imagine looking Hayao Miyazaki in the face and telling him you used AI to copy him? You wouldn't want to do that. So instead, how you can get around that is don't describe an artist in particular, but describe a 3D software, or maybe a rendering engine or an era, maybe. So you're not taking from an individual, but you're more just like copying the style. So for example, what if we had a dreamlike arcade filled with 1980s nostalgia, props like lava lamps, posters, animatronics maybe? Any Freddy Fazbear fans out there? No love for Freddy, dude? Come on, dude, we got him right here. I got his head. It's not gonna hurt anybody. All right, let's see what we can do. We got 9:16, and yeah, let's give it a shot. And look how fast that is. Like, come on, guys. It's not right. But those are some pretty nice looking shots, I gotta tell you. They could be a little more creative though, right? So what have we said in the style? Unreal Engine 5. Okay, so slight difference. It's hard to notice, but this definitely looks a little more like a game. It's got like that rendering engine, kind of these light bounces. Now you could go on Blender, you could create a floor, you could create the checkerboard pattern. You could adjust the roughness so that it's nice and reflective. And you can also create these arcade cabs, but I have a feeling you'll probably just want to download them. So in that case, I gotta let you guys know, things have changed. We're on fab.com now, guys. Take notes. It used to be Sketchfab, it used to be Unreal Engine Marketplace, but now it's just Fab. So you can get a lot of things like Quixel, Mega Scans, which are these super high-powered scans. Speaking of scans, I hope you guys have already downloaded Polycan, and let's see if we can check something out real quick. You know, even when you have all your files super organized, when you're in front of like 25 people, it becomes a little hard to locate your files. But keep your files organized, guys. That's the main takeaway from what I'm trying to tell you. Let's see. So while I look for that file, guys, one thing you want to consider is these generative AI tools can actually be a kind of a plus for you. So you don't have to feel like you're cheating all the time. Like for example, let's say you got this image here. It's like a liminal hallway. You take a picture of it. You can actually bring that into Photoshop, extend the canvas on Photoshop, and get it to the exact resolution that you want. So in that case, we did 1080 by 1920. And then you can export that image and you can bring it into not Runway, but my personal favorite, which is called, it's called, take two. We're doing this all in real time, guys. Like this, it's not easy. Right? Yeah, they're always trying to sell me something. Hey, so we're on Kling AI. So I wouldn't recommend Kling for the image generation. Like it's a little, it's not as creative as I would like, but you can get really good results. Like here's Zara Caswell, the famous zebra jazz violinist. Might low-key be related to Zebra from Jazz Lawyer. If you're a jazz lawyer, head. So, you know, we get really cool images on Kling. I'm liking some of these like Jim Henson, like 1980s style monsters, you know. Can't really take credit for it. But you could try. You could try. You could get creative with AI in a way where you're not just relying on your video. And you could bring these characters into something like Adobe After Effects, rotoscope them, collage them together. You don't always have to do everything in 3D. Like for example, right? I was thinking of making a horror game based on Flanagan's. And what would it be like to get stuck at Flanny's late at night? And the Big Daddy himself is trying to get you. So I came and I took a reference of the Flanny's logo, tried to come up with something kind of horrifying and scary. I got somewhere with it, you know, it still doesn't satisfy me, right? So when you get these images, you don't want to just throw them away. Like they're not completely useless just because, you know, you could still do your traditional digital collage methods. You could mix together different renders. You could take it into Photoshop. One super cool tool that's in Photoshop is the auto blend feature, which if you guys haven't tried it, it uses AI and it kind of just mixes things together in a perfect way. So definitely recommend. If you don't have access to Photoshop, there's also a free version called Photopia, which is in the Discord. I don't know if you guys managed to get into the Discord, but yeah, all the links are there. So let's get to the fun stuff, guys. Like, just like trudging along with these really lame AI generated images. So one of the members of Girl Heaven, who is actually on the screen over there, went and drew some stuff, and I was like, hey, what if we use AI to animate it? Because I was in my tech bro, Miami tech bro kind of propaganda. I was pushing AI, you know. I should have just said, let's do it frame by frame, but we would have just killed all the time we had. And there they are right now. So there's the artist. Yeah. It's in the building. Welcome. So ideally, you bring in your little sketch into Kling, and you can kind of get some nice results like this, where it's a little nightmare fuel. It's a little trippy. It's not great, but you can still take that, bring it into After Effects, rotoscope it, have it as its own layer, get rid of the background. I like this character. This is my character that I created when I was 11 years old. I was super inspired by like Super Smash Brothers and what else?
South Park.
Yu Yu Hakusho, yes, that's correct. I was inspired by Yu Yu Hakusho. And I was like, what if we take the name of a character from Super Smash, put him in the Yu Yu Hakusho outfit, and give him a little bit of a prepubescent Alec kind of aesthetic vibe, and this is what you got. We put him in the back rooms, and we used Kling to do this. Now, when you guys use Kling AI, the results on here are a little bit better than what you would get on Runway or something, so naturally they're going to take a little bit longer. So you can expect You can expect render times of up to 6 to 10 minutes. When you go on runway though, let's just do one right now. Let's just have a good time. Just kidding, I'm not gonna waste your time, guys. Like, we already have one right here. It's your boy Jazz Lawyer. But I ran Jazz, who was rendered in Unreal Engine 5. He was modeled in ZBrush. He was put together. He was rigged with Mixamo. Some of you know about Mixamo. Then he was put into Unreal Engine 5. He was lit, he was rendered. And then we took that and we said, let's do a photorealistic filter.
Every single day, and your boss is basically making snide, sarcastic.
And it's just absolute nightmare fuel and it's unacceptable. But it's kind of fun to watch, you know, because it's not completely AI generated. It was a concept that went through a pipeline of things. It started as a drawing, we 3D modeled it, we textured it. You know, sometimes AI will just give you these really...
Every single day, and your boss is basically making snide, sarcastic remarks that...
like, not great, you know? So I think I'm getting to the... I don't know if you guys are getting the point here. We don't want to rely on AI, but we could also... It can come in handy, right? Like, I made a music video. My friend has this band, it's called Kinda Culty. Maybe you guys know. Maybe it's a little too culty for you, I don't know. Let's see. Well, let's take a little trip into the magical musical conservatory. So, if you're interested in making brain rot, which, you know, the fine line between fine art and brain rot is getting thinner every day. So pretty soon, you might expect these Gen Alpha kids to actually think that art is brain rot, you know? So if you're trying to make these viral things that have like a little shelf life of 2 weeks, maybe get 700,000 likes, then you could definitely do this all day long. You could just generate images and animate them all day. But you're gonna feel a little soulless. It's not great, it's not gonna be. But you know, you have ideas, right? If you have an idea, AI is just a means to an end. You can use it, you don't have to start with drawing, you don't have to start with a video, but it kind of puts things into perspective because you might have all these ideas in your head, like, hey, I wanna do a series, I wanna do a series of characters. I prefer you did them all by hand, right? But you might just feel gratified just getting that idea out there, or at least doing like some kind of mock-up of it with AI first, so that you're not, you know, you're using your time wisely because it's a little tough right now. So I'm gonna put you guys onto a little more secret software. This one is called Post Shots, and it's gonna come in handy with your Polycam stuff. Because now you guys can scan environments with Polycam, and you can upload them into something like PostShot. You can have a very photorealistic thing called a Gaussian blur, which is not a mesh. It's actually a point cloud render. So you got millions of little points, and you get these super finely detailed renders. And get that real quick. Switching between objects. If you guys have Blender, feel free to open it up right now. Let's start with a little basic stuff. It's about to get kind of funny. Not that it wasn't already, but it's gonna get a little weird. We had to get through the tough stuff first, guys. We had to do those boring little rounds.
Oh, they're coming here. You can put it here.
So, we didn't really get good results from Create.ai, but I have a feeling we might get some good results from Rodon, which is kind of relevant to what we want to do. We don't want to just make images and animate them. We want to actually have some 3D objects that we can play with and hopefully 3D print and give to our friends for the holidays. So, you guys see that I uploaded my image. I'm just going to hit generate. Let's see how fast we can model something that probably would have taken 2 hours, or maybe even 30 minutes. If you're really sculpting every day like that. And maybe we can do 2 at a time just because we're feeling ambitious and we, you know. Ladies and gentlemen, Cloister.wave is in the building. Welcome. Thank you for coming, bro. Oh yeah, I saw that preview of Shrek. Okay, so that's pretty interesting from like a really like crude pencil drawing. It's kind of, you know, it's onto something, but this is what we really want. Mini Shrek, Sailor Moon, 1 of 1, generated live at the 3D People workshop at Locust Projects. This is gonna be an absolute treat. Now that probably would have taken at least 20 minutes to make. And at most, maybe a couple weeks, because that's a pretty good looking picture. But as you can see, within only 2 minutes, we got this incredible 3D model. I mean, look at that. Eileen, what do you think about this model?
I mean, it's sculpted.
There it is.
It's taken me like a year.
Look at the details on little Sailor Shrek.
I'm looking at it.
So, sounds like we got the seal of approval on that. We're gonna generate the model. You know, we're working, guys. It's not easy, I'm telling you. But, you know, just because you can do one model really fast, that doesn't mean your life's gonna get easier. Now you have to make 20 models every day. This is the dystopian future we wanted, guys, right? No? It's okay. Maybe we can be optimistic about it. Maybe we can, you know, maybe we can all make our own video game or something. We can all make our own world. It's kind of not out of reach. You know, I play your game if it's a good game. I'll play it. I'm down to game, dude. Yeah. So now we're getting the textures. Again, this would have taken hours before. We would have had to open up Substance Painter. We would have had to pick our materials, but look at that. That's pretty solid, no? Would you agree? If you saw this at 2 in the morning on TikTok, would you hit like? Maybe we put a little viral audio from Baron Trump. Guys, I'm about to just start talking to ChatGPT real quick. Hey, ChatGPT, is it wrong to use AI to make art and then host an entire workshop about it?
Let's say there, effort doing what?
AEEMIS.
Hosting a workshop on using AI to create art can actually be a great way to share knowledge and explore the possibilities of combining technology and creativity. The key is transparency and intent. If you're upfront about how AI tools are used in the process, it can open up valuable discussions about their role in art making, ethical concerns, and the evolving definition of creativity. Plus, it can empower others to experiment with AI in their own work. Are you thinking about doing something like this? What aspect of AI art would you
Is ChatGPT correct right now? Do you guys feel empowered by this information? Is this empowering to you? I mean, look, guys, I don't know if you realize this, but we're gonna be doing filters on our glasses soon. We're gonna be doing POV, MetaQuest videos soon. Things are changing. Maybe some of you guys know about Edgelord. You know about that. They're doing all this experimental stuff. You know. So, all right. We're in Blender. We got our model. Hopefully, you guys got your model too. And the great thing about Blender is after 30 years, we can now finally drag a file into Blender. So that makes me really happy because it used to not be that easy. Got a lot of windows open. I don't know, dude, did we lose Shrek? Where'd Shrek go, dude? Oh. There we go. So, I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with machinima. That was the term back in the day. But basically, I got started with all this 3D stuff because I was really into this machinima stuff, this machine cinema. And, you know, it used to be a lot more difficult. You would have to connect an Xbox to a capture card and then run that through a screen recording. And then you would end up with videos like this. Great quality. But yeah, we used to just log in. We would all be online. We would puppet these characters. We'd do all the voice acting live online. And people would just be like, this is crazy. Like, this is not real filmmaking. But it's like, no, this actually is probably the future. People making films using tools like this, they're gonna get a lot less clunky and dorky, but oh, we got somebody over here. What's going on? You know, the great part about doing 3D art is there's a lot of little moments where there's some rendering going on, and it just gives you a moment to really just reflect on what you're doing. You know, like maybe this is exactly what I want to be doing. Just waiting for things to load and having time to just come up with ideas and doodle and you know, sometimes the stuff doesn't want to cooperate with you.
Good.
Sweet. All right. So if you did that correctly and you used Rodon, you should now have your folder, which comes with the base model and all the textures. So what we want to do is just drag that in. Go to the base, drag it in. There we go. We got Shrek in Blender. So we're already starting to cook. Let's see if the texture's loaded. So this is something that's going to happen. It's super annoying, but let's go through it because we have to know how to do this. So you got Shrek, but there's no texture. Really not great. So you go over here to your materials, right? We're gonna hit material, we're gonna hit new material. We're gonna go into shading mode. And then once we're in shading, we're using our node editor right now. And this knowledge is gonna carry over to Unreal Engine 5, so same principles. Maybe some of you have used Cinema 4D, it's the same thing. We're gonna type in image, texture. We're gonna open. We're gonna go to our downloads where we had the thing before. Hopefully I can find it. Go to PBR, I'm gonna hit diffuse. So the diffuse is just colors, and then boom. Shrek's looking good, but we can get a little better. We want to go to our normal map. And we want to do the same thing. We're going to do this 4 times. If only there was some technology that could just do it for us, you know, we might use it, but it's unethical. We need to do things the hard way sometimes. We're going to put that normal in there. The normal map's going to bring out those nice details that we love. The little ridges on Shrek's nose. Beautiful. Shrek is life. So then I'm going to hit Shift A, and I'm going to create some lights because I think Shrek needs to be lit. I'm going to hit G for grab, and I'm going to hit Y so I can move along the Y-axis. Then I'm going to hit G and I'm going to hit Z so I can move along with the British, we call the Z-axis. They also say Z-brush. I grew up listening to a lot of British YouTubers. Most of them were under the age of 12. So I'm not going to do an impression, but I'm sure you can imagine the pitch gets very high. Make sure you like and subscribe. Don't forget to follow. So now we got Shrek looking a little creepy, like he's in the back rooms or she's in the back rooms. So we want to hit Shift A, we want to give a little, we'll go to Mesh, we'll go to Plane, move around, try to get some nice shadows in there. I mean, you can do whatever you want, you can just have fun with it. Try to get some geometry in there because what we're going to do, if this all goes according to plan, which it might not, you have to be prepared to just make some rubbish, you know, some more British terminology. All right, so now we got Shrek in this kind of world, whatever. It's good. We want to get some reflections on the floor. So, pro tip, make a new material. Call it reflect. Make it good blue. But yeah, we want to lower the roughness. Lower the roughness. And maybe you could hit shift A, go to your lights, create a sunlight, create some other lights so you have a little more of a dynamic scene. The goal here isn't really to make a complete scene. We're gonna kind of tinker around with AI and see if we can save some time, hopefully. Make something good. That's really the goal. But we're experimenting at the end of the day, guys. It's a workshop, we're not trying to, I don't expect anybody to come out of here with a finished product, but the goal is that you learn today, you have your drawings, we keep the conversation going on Discord. Maybe you guys upload some of your creations at a later point in time. But as you can see, even with AI, it's still gonna take you some time. There's different things you can do. Just iterating on an idea to get to an image that you actually want to turn into a 3D model could take you 40 minutes in and of itself. So all right, we got Shrek, we did it. We did what we had to do. So now we're gonna go export. We could try .usd. So if you guys don't know, .usd is a really great file type to use for 3D because it's actually going to get integrated into a lot of new softwares where you can do text to 3D. And it's just to give you a little preview of what I'm talking about. The name of the software is NVIDIA Edify. So, not to burst anybody's bubble, I still want to see everybody's unique and creative creations. But this software right here is going to allow you to type whatever you want and get what you need. So you're going to type a prompt, and NVIDIA Edify is going to start generating a bunch of meshes, just like we just made one right now in 2 minutes. This software is going to make you 100 in 5 minutes. And then using Python scripting and your text prompts, it's going to put together a whole scene for you. So it really makes you consider, what models do I want to make personally, and what models am I okay with being generated to save me time. So you might not necessarily want to do every single model 3D or AI, but a couple of them can save you some time if they're superfluous or they're going to be more background. And when we get into Unreal, similar to how you are in Blender, you have complete control over the camera. So if I hit Shift A, I can create a camera. I can grab it just like any other object, move it around. I can click this little camera tab right here, and then I click this little arrow here, and that's going to allow me to see through my camera. So now I'm locked into the camera view, and I'm controlling the camera, and what I see in this camera is what my render is going to look like. So then once I have this detail, I can go into my camera settings, and I can basically treat it like it's a real camera. I can mess with the depth of field. I can click this little eyedropper right here, and I can focus on Shrek. So Shrek's nice and focused, but the rest will be kind of blurred. I can mess with the f-stop. If we have any photographers in here, you're opening your aperture, you're bringing in more light, or you're closing it off so you can get more of a dark contrast. And so the higher your f-stop is, the more depth of field you're going to have, so you can get those beautiful backgrounds that are very blurry and they'll separate from your character nicely. And we can, of course, change the focal length. So I don't know about you guys, but I've always wanted to shoot with an 8mm lens because it's super wide. And I don't know why that's looking like that. Yeah, there we go. Oh, this is just the size. I want to actually change the focal length, and bear with me for 1 second. I'm used to doing this part in Unreal, so whatever. I'll take that as a cue to go into Unreal. Because Unreal's the best. I don't know if you guys know this, but Unreal Fest is going to be in Florida in 2025. So if you guys are into Unreal Engine, I would definitely recommend you check out Unreal Fest. It's going to be in Orlando. I will probably be out there. There's a lot of new tools that we'll definitely have time to go over more in the Discord. But I just want to make sure you guys are aware of some basic stuff that you can do right now. So bear with me. We're going to open up Unreal, and then we'll check out some VR chat stuff, and then it might be time to go to heaven. Grow heaven. It's one of the best heavens. Because we might be in AI tech bro hell right now. So it's good to have a nice contrast. Feel me? I don't think I'm a tech bro, but whatever. You guys can feel free to disagree. How about those pickles though? Anybody tried one? They were like half sour. So yeah, when you have Polycam, which I would love to I was gonna try and stream my phone, but let's not go too crazy. If you have Polycam and you have a membership, you can actually export any type of model. You can export FBX, OBJ, whatever. Something you can do is you can take one of your friends and you could go up to them and you could get a 360 scan, or you could get a 180 scan, because within Polycam there's an option to do a video. So you can just put it on video mode, go into a well-lit room, get a scan. You know, you can literally circle around, do something like that. Or you could just kind of be 180 with it. So I'm using the LiDAR sensor on my phone, which I think is for the iPhone 13 and up. Also is on the Samsung Galaxy as well. So you can get these depth maps and you can use them in softwares like Reallusion Suite, Blender, and Unreal Engine 5 to create what's called a meta-human, which I think it's time we check out some meta-humans real quick. You need to use the front-facing camera on your phone. I don't think you can do it without it. So yeah, meta-human's cool. Basically allows you to get something that's pretty close to a real-looking person for a video game model. They're compatible with Mixamo. They're compatible with most skeletons. Pretty easy to use. I'll be dropping some resources in the Discord so we can all try. I mean, it would be cool if we could all try to make a goal to have a meta-human of ourselves. Like, I don't think that's too crazy of a goal. But something you might not have considered is you can actually make meta-humans of people that are no longer alive. Because you can go up to a statue and you can scan that statue and it's going to give you the same info. So as long as you get a nice bust of somebody from like the neck up, you can upload it into Unreal. And we're about to see in a sec a good example. Let's see if I can I'll show you guys Polycam real quick, if I can get on. Hopefully. Oh, nice. I love that. So there we go. You might recognize her. That was just done with about 80 images. So, you know, good rule of thumb, get around 40 to 80 images and you can get these pretty nice scans which you can put into your scene. The great thing about the new Blender and the new Unreal is that they will take all this information. You can put million poly models, you can scan all the toys in your house, whatever. You can just make a whole scene. So I'll show you a little example of that.
Those images, when you create a polygon, you can put it in another software and animate it.
You can put it in anything that reads 3D files.
How I can, because sometimes that's the issue I have is when I have some kind of document and I pass it for example, a blender, you need to know in what model you're gonna download and what software, what code or whatever.
So I would recommend if you're using Polycam and Blender to always export everything as a FBX. FBX is great because you can give them animation data, so you can have a rig, you can have keyframes, you can edit it. You can't do that with OBJ. But OBJ can come in handy sometimes. The great thing about Blender is you can use it as a file exchanger, right? Like you could bring in an OBJ and then you could export it as an FBX, or you could bring in a GLB. And most of the web is GLB stuff now. We're going to continue seeing more GLB. It's a light file size that runs really quickly, and it's great for making augmented reality filters or virtual reality environments. But like I just showed you, the industry is also kind of moving towards USD. And USD is going to be really great because it really is a universal file type. It comes with everything already baked into it. Well, it's not that the prompt is in the file; it's that you can prompt a software like NVIDIA Edify to generate these USD models because it runs on USD, and that's kind of the future. That guy Jensen Huang from NVIDIA, I went to SIGGRAPH. I saw Jensen and Zuck. I saw them do that thing where it's really weird, but they were basically just kind of chumming it up, and they were excited about the future. But all the artists in the room were kind of just like, yeah, this is great, like awesome, Basically, everybody kind of just understood like our lives are changing. There's so many softwares right now, so painters, they're really kind of blessed right now, because if you're doing something that's just like not digital at all, this is a great time to really push that and be like, hey, I'm different, I'm not touching this stuff. But if you're in the digital world, it doesn't hurt to try it out. I'm not saying that you have to lean on it, but you might find yourself in a situation where you've been doing 3D for a long time and you're now the project manager on something, and you're gonna have a choice. Am I going to hire a bunch of 3D labor, most likely from a different country? Yes. So the reason I suggested putting it on Google Drive is so that you can download it on your own device, and then you can upload it into Crea.ai, which, don't worry guys, everything will be reiterated in the Discord, and we're also recording, but oh, there you go. So you're in London, yeah. Okay, so if you downloaded your files, let's just go back to that real quick. So we're all together. So if you downloaded your file from Rodin after you did your sketch, you created it, and you want to put that texture, you just need to go to your shading. Click on your character. And then here, as you can see, all I did was I just dragged out here and I typed in image texture. So I did 2 image textures. I could do 4, but for the sake of time, I did 2. I did one that's connected to the base color and one that's connected to the normal map. And just so you guys remember, if you affect the roughness, that's what gives you the kind of reflective texture, which becomes more apparent the more lights you have in your scene, the more things you got going on. There's a lot of advanced techniques that we just don't have enough time to go into today. I'd be happy to share some of those resources later on Discord, but things like creating caustic water effects, shadows that are animated, putting screens in the scene, having animated textures. We'll go all over some of that stuff a little later. But really now, we went through a process, we drew something, we brought it in, used it as a reference, created something, generated an image, turned that image into a 3D object, brought the 3D image into Blender, lit it, whatever, saved it as a USD file, and hopefully Unreal Engine is finally ready to go. Let's see, Shrek Untitled.usdc, yeah. I already have a preset. I have like a little map that I made. It already is populated with a bunch of 3D objects. So, something to consider also, like it might be, I can't tell if you guys are overwhelmed by this information or it's coming at a nice pace, but something to consider is that we're not just talking about what we're making, but it's also our workflow. Like now, it's a good time to multitask. You're loading up software, one thing is loading, you're generating an image on another page, you're generating a video on another page, you're baking all your clips, you're using different tools like Dream Machine. Let's see if we can get Dream Machine to work. Reminds me of something I used to do that involved dreams, the way that the interface kind of looks. It's like choose your own adventure. Let's do it. Sometimes you want to make an image and a lot of people will be cooking something up, so you'll have to wait. Other times you go on and nobody's doing it, so things can take about 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever. I find that this software is really good with like creating scenes from scratch, but it's not necessarily good with animating motion graphics, like two-dimensional vector stuff, texture, logos. It doesn't really get creative with the logo stuff, but if you kind of practice your prompting a little bit, try some things out. I wouldn't recommend you take advice from ChatGPT, by the way. Like GPT can sometimes overdo it. I find that these models kind of like a minimal amount of information, just a quick phrase or something. So one thing you might want to consider as a good use case, our friend from Time and Tourism Bureau is not here, but he would probably like to know, you can take historic photos and you can absolutely just bring them to life, or you can create completely new stuff. You can make fake news. Because there's tools like Grok, which is part of X.com from Elon. And Grok allows you to generate stuff without censorship. So you could do celebrities, you could do people that are in the public sphere and put them in situations like this, Steve Jobs. What's the point of that? It's up to you. You create the point. You could take toys and animate them in a way. You could scan Mac Tonight. You could scan Jazz Lawyer. So I don't make Jazz Lawyer with AI yet.
Yes, at the beginning you show like a shirt has to go
It's like a subscription.
Yeah.
How you do that?
Oh, I'm glad you asked.
I was gonna ask them.
Absolutely, yeah, that I'll definitely show you. So, and that's a great question because this is now the most popular new feature on Runway. It's called Act 1, and it's disrupting the industry heavily because as you can see, you can get this really great quality stuff. It looks a lot nicer than just your average Snapchat filter. So basically what you have to do is you gotta get a video. It's good to not have too much motion and to have good lighting in the video. So you want to keep it still, get good lighting, and then you can record yourself for going as long as you want. This is a paid, you do need to pay for this service. It's about $10 to get access to about 700 credits. And each second that you generate is 10 credits. So you'll do the math and you'll figure out how much you can get. You can always continue to buy more credits, but I'm not crazy about the process, but we could also, if we wanted to, we could go into ZBrush, make a really complex character, rig it, give it all the facial blend shapes, bring it into Unreal Engine, and then use our phone to do a mocap kind of situation. But this new software is completely disrupting that pipeline. It's just making it possible to just take a video and get the character that you want to get. Because you don't have to use an AI-generated image. You could use a real image. You could use old photo of somebody, and you can bring it to life. And it's just like at a level that's much higher than your typical. There's all these different websites that allow you to kind of animate your face, and give it the mouth moves a little bit. It's really up to you. Some people are into that lo-fi cyber internet kind of look, and some people want to go for the hyper-realistic look, and they're all similarly uncanny at this moment, but I would say give it about 3 or 6 more months, and we should have some crazy updates. I don't even, every day, the will to, want to do things completely from scratch is gonna just, you're gonna question why you're complicating your life, because now it's like, you can really just scan anything. You can scan a Choco Taco. Choco Tacos are out of stock. There's no more. So we got the last Choco Taco right here. We can put it anywhere, and that's kind of what I was going to show you guys before you let me get distracted. Let's go to the portfolio. It's good to work on your website, guys. Sometimes life isn't that bad. You just need to work on your website a little bit. Make it a little presentable. So 2 years ago, 2022, the golden age of Unreal Engine. This is what I was doing. Just trying to make as many characters as possible, scan as many toys as possible, put them in scenes, create renders using Octane render and some 4D. But I was getting tired of paying $100 a month for Octane. It's kind of it was $400 a year for Octane and then $100 a month for Cinema 4D. But you can actually just use Octane inside of Blender. So if you're willing to just learn Blender, you could do this all for free. And never pay 1 cent. Alright, so now we're in Unreal. We want to bring Shrek into Unreal. And some people in the younger generation, in all generations, are skeptical of the AI stuff. Or, like I said earlier, it's using a lot of energy. It's very wasteful. So ethically, we're going to be at a crossroads pretty soon where it's just like you're going to be using AI and people are going to be mad at you, or the technology is going to get updated because you're going to start incorporating real people's neurons into computers. And we're not really sure of how conscious those neurons are. But it's going to save a lot of energy. It's going to be like 1 million times more efficient than what we have now. So if you're concerned about the use, just know like new tech is on the way. It's going to get increasingly more dystopian and weird. And it might just be better to just draw pictures with crayons. That might be, well, you could argue that crayons are a little wasteful too. So yeah, Unreal's just glitching out. There we go. So here we have like a weird avatar that was made. I think that's Mark Zuckerberg, if I'm not mistaken. Let's get a closer look at him real quick. So part of what I was trying to say is we've been using AI tools this whole time. Like AI is not just something that came out 3 years ago. Wow, we've done it, guys. We've been locked in for like an hour, and it just feels like it's only been 5 minutes. But time flies when you're having the most fun. Let's see. A lot of 3D art is just opening the task manager and closing it.
Hey, how's everything?
All right. So, unfortunately, things like Unreal are very finicky. They want you to be specific. They don't like when you just drag files. So you always have to make sure you read the menu when you're importing something. You want to make sure your mesh is combined. But lucky for us, our mesh is combined, and there you go. Shrek has made their way into Unreal Engine. This is how I get my rocks up, guys. I'm telling you, I could do this all day. Don't even play with me. So now, all right, we're gonna wrap up pretty soon, guys, because we gotta go to heaven. Once you're in Unreal Engine, you want to start making animations. You're gonna type something in right here. You're gonna hit save. You're gonna go. You've got what's called the sequencer. Right? In the sequencer, we're gonna have our camera. And then we're gonna zoom out a little bit. Click that camera, and you can make your camera settings whatever you want them to be. I don't judge. If you want to put 8mm focal length, you want that super wide, that super wide, I don't blame you. Because you want to know why? Because we're trying to make stuff that we're going to post on TikTok. We want to get a couple likes, right? We want to make reels and get a few likes, get a few comments. People don't like horizontal videos anymore. It's not my fault. Don't be mad at me about it. All you gotta do is just switch the height with the width. So I'm gonna put 13.365 over here. And we'll put 23.76 over here. And there you go. We got your nice 9:16 aspect ratio. We can do anything at this point. We could render video. We can go into our render settings. We can pick exactly what we want. And once you have your video, you could actually just take that bring it into Gen Alpha. And you can start to get some very interesting results, kind of like this. We're in the Matrix, guys, and we're only going to get deeper into the Matrix. So, with that being said, I hope you guys will just continue to experiment with the pipeline. There's no one way to do this. You can generate your stuff with AI, you can generate it with traditional 3D and enhance it with AI, you can mix it up with AI and turn it into a 3D object and then do it the traditional way. You could go front, backwards, side to side, whichever way you want to go. It's just up to you how you want to do it. So, you have a question? What's going on? Yes? I think I got something for you. We did it, guys. We 3D printed an egg for it. Here, come over here, man. In the theme of the late night at the Dill, I present you with. Here, crack that stuff off here. Let's hear that nice crack, crunch. Ladies and gentlemen, Albie, hey Albie, give me that real quick. Hey. So yeah, we did it, guys. That was awesome, man. Give yourself a round of applause. And hopefully you got some information out of me. I know it was a lot. It felt like not that much, but there's gonna be more on Discord, so stay tuned.
Discord?
Yeah, the Discord, we'll put the link up. It's it was posted by Locust Project earlier today. There's a link to the Discord. I can actually just see if I can finagle a little QR code for you guys, and then get ready. This is girl. We're watching Girl Now, baby. Guys, I want to just stress, like, I know there's just so much to go over. Like, there's a lot. So I really do hope you will join the Discord. We'll go over things like how to use your phone to control the camera inside Blender so you get that realistic camera motion. And like, let's just, let's try to foster a little community of virtual filmmakers. And we'll get into green screen stuff, we'll get into cleaning out, all that stuff.